For years I'd try to fit in being the funny one, the most crazy one, whether that was bleaching my hair in Magaluf on a lad's holiday, shaving patterns into my chest when I'd had too much to drink, or chucking shite up my nose at a weekend. I was always trying to fill a void, and I'd think to myself, am I worthy of love? Why do I dislike myself so much? And why do I always seek approval? Well, in this video, I am going to be talking to you about the one decision that completely changed the trajectory of my life for the better. And not only this, but how you can do it too. I'm Ricky, and I have been an online coach for the last 7 years, helping guys not just transform themselves physically, but also to help them build quality relationships with themselves. And before we get in too deep on this video, I want to remind you of one thing. And if you take one thing away from this video, I want it to be this. And that is, making a decision involves action and not just talking. When you make a true decision, make sure you act on it immediately. And for me, I made that big decision when I was at the lowest point of my life, around about 8 years ago. Now, the day that changed my life forever, I was alone. I'd been isolating myself for around about 6 months. I hadn't been at work. I was at a real low point in my life, and I didn't actually know where I wanted to go from this. And I was avoiding my family, I was avoiding my friends, and I just simply weren't looking after myself. And then my best friend of the last 25 years, in fact more than that now, 30 plus years, has been my best friend, came barging in the house and said something to me that completely changed my perspective on everything. His words were very simple. Either do it or don't do it. But either way, we're going to have to pick up the pieces. And that was it. And he walked out. The softly approach was over. People checking in on me, oh, you'll be okay, Ricky, and that. They were just simply sick of it. They were sick of me isolating myself. And I knew things had to change at that point. I was hurting other people now and not just myself. And that afternoon I did something that I recommend you do as well if you're in a similar position to where I was and you were just hating yourself and didn't like who you saw in the mirror. And that was to simply go and actually stand in the mirror. And that's what I did. I stood in the mirror and I asked myself, what would make me love me again? As wishy-washy as that sounds and as soft as that may sound, I needed to know what steps I needed to take to rebuild the relationship with myself. And that's why everything changed for me in one day. That's why that's the title of this video. Because at the time I felt like a complete loser. I was eating takeaways every night. I was having sleeping tablets to get to sleep. I was looking scruffy. I wasn't training. And what was looking back at me in the mirror, I simply just did not like whatsoever. But one thing for me that I always loved was training in the gym. I'd always loved lifting weights, and I'd seen quite a lot of my friends from the wrestling scene had made really fantastic body transformations. So I reached out to this particular coach immediately. That same day, I didn't think about it. I didn't hold it off. I reached out there and then. We spoke that afternoon and I signed up. And it was an absolute life-changing experience for me in so many ways. Now, even just taking this action in itself gave me a little bit of a kick. Because when you sign up to something new or you decide you're going to pursue something and you take action on it, you get that adrenaline rush. Now, it's not going to stay there forever, but you want to ride that wave when it's there and you want to get started. So when I did get started, I was put into a group with another 25, 30 people. And some of these people are literally some of my best friends now, like Ryan, who I tag team with regularly, has become a great friend of mine. I met him through doing this program. So getting into a community with like-minded people really started to change my mindset. And also as well, it kind of gave me a little bit of a competitive edge again, because we all wanted each other to succeed, but we all wanted the best transformation as well. Because let's face it, we're men. We're competitive beings. And it was simply something I wanted to improve myself and also bring others up around me, and things really started to accelerate and change. So this program, it was 36 weeks long, and by the end of the 36 weeks, I felt completely different. Firstly, I actually liked what I saw in the mirror. I was in what I would say was really good shape, probably the best shape I've ever been in. But so much more than that, I had a routine back after not having one for so long. I had confidence in the way I was looking. I'd walk into a room with more confidence, and that energy I was giving was then bleeding off onto other people. I'd built strong habits. I built healthy habits. I started to rebuild relationships with people that I hadn't spoken to for a while. And they were starting to see a side of me that they liked again. And like I say, most importantly, I'd rebuilt the relationship that had completely gone, and that was the relationship with myself. And that's what I want for you as well. And then it continued even further. From that confidence that I'd got on New Year's Eve 2019, I met my now wife, and I actually had the confidence to go and speak to her because I thought she's way out of my league. There's no way she'll speak to me. I actually thought chances are she'd already be married, so I'll just go over. I've got nothing to lose. And it turned out she wasn't somehow. And that night we got talking, and now, like I say, I'm married to the love of my life. And again, it comes back to that one decision that was made on that day. And that's how one moment can change everything. It can change your trajectory. So that's my little story there, and I want the same for you. So what I want you to do now is, if people are in and you don't want to do it when people are not there, I totally get that, but when you've got some time for yourself, go and have a look in the mirror and ask yourself, is this what I want to be? Is this the trajectory I want to continue taking? What's my life going to look like if I continue to do this for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? Where do you want to be? What actions do you need to take to move yourself there? And I challenge you, take action on it now. Make a decision, but make a decision with intentional action and do it now, because it might just change your life for the better. And also off the back of this, it's exactly why I set up my coaching business. Not just to help people get into great shape, but it was my mission to help people repair the relationships with the self and to become the man that they're meant to be. And I absolutely love it. And 7 years later, we've had some incredible transformations. We've had some absolutely incredible stories, and I want your story to be the next one. So just before we go, 3 times every year, we run the Dominate in 8 program. And that's taking the principles and building the habits to make you completely change what you see as possible over an 8-week period. We run it at a completely affordable price because I want to be able to help people. I want people to make incredible transformations. Now, to get a space on this, you need to be on the priority list. There is a link below. If you click on that, it will take you to a page where you can have more information on the program, how it works, all the costing and everything, and get yourself onto that priority list for when spaces open next. You don't want to miss this, especially if you're at a point where you want to change now. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one.